Dojo and what we've been building behind the scenes when it comes to Ronin. This has been a really large effort from the team. And what we want to share is just the framework of how the product experience will be playing out and giving you guys a first look into how Ronin will be accessible to each and every one of you. So, what's unique about Ronin is that we'll be giving a first look and a first advantage to everyone here in our community, and that's what you'll essentially be unlocking starting tomorrow. A dojo experience will essentially open up starting on a very critical date, which is February 1st. And you're going to see these kind of repetition of numbers that are relevant. In the US, we would traditionally write February 1st as 2 1, right? February being the second month of the year, 1 being the first day. So you get a number 21. And you're going to see these other holy numbers that are going to be representative about the ordinals world kind of be unveiled and will also be really important in the product experience as you guys unlock and still be able to be a part of this overall vision as well. So, today I'm going to talk to you about how the dojo is being set up, what are the opportunities, and how this product experience will play out, where your roles and souls and pendants are going to give you advantages, but also then talk to you about how the Ronin Mint will play out through this dojo as well. And hopefully through that you should have a really good framework on how Ronin is probably a product or an experience and seeing whether or not it's a fit for you too. So let's kind of go through the details. So as we mentioned, the dojo is being prepared. And the way our storytelling works out is that essentially this is the Ronin Dojo. This is the dojo that is where the nine disciples are located. And these nine disciples, where we've already shared the visuals here before, and especially in the tavern chat, are the representatives of knowledge that come from the lead samurai or the lead legend being Sato himself. And our goal now is that as the dojo opens, what we're essentially opening up for everyone is a trial. We're calling all the loyal samurais across Japan to prove their worthiness of becoming part of the Ronin army. So why is this called Ronin? Well, Ronin is a reflection of kind of the experience we've seen around ordinals, right? When we think about how ordinals and more importantly BTC was created, the primary leader or master of BTC is, a pseudonymous individual named Satoshi Nakamoto. And effectively, once he introduced this technology, this knowledge, he essentially left, right, the public light. And still to this day, nobody knows him. And we all kind of were left without this master. And that's where the term Ronin comes from, is that you're left without a master. It's a samurai with no longer a master. And historically, this has been a dishonorable term. This is a term that was noting that you, as a samurai, no longer have honor as you've lost your master. You must, just roam the worlds as a vagrant. But our world really trying to showcase that Ronin is the spirit of what not only makes BTC special, but what we believe is going to make this community special is that we move forward without our master, but still utilizing the insights from that master. And it's the empowerment of the name of Ronin, right? The idea that we do not need masters, but we can still be able to offer value to the world. And this is where that product experience now opens up, where now the nine disciples are now in a position to recruit what would be effectively the Ronin army, which will essentially be the first layer of the mint in this experience. So, how will this play out? Well, this is actually going to be a game of trials, a game where you have to be able to prove that you are worthy to be part of the Ronin army. Just like any product experience or anime world that you've been a part of, if you bring 10,000 people together and you need to whittle it down to say randomly 1,000, right? You'll need to create trials to be able to determine who is worthy. So very similarly here, our Discord experience is going to be a game of trials. It's limited grind. That's a very important factor, but it's actually going to give you a gamified UI like layer that will give you maximum choices. And these choices will allow you to create your own player styles as this product experience unfolds both pre-mint and post-mint as well. So through these trials, you're essentially leveling up, right? You're going and trying to complete trial one, trial two, trial three, and so on until there's enough worthy samurai to become that of Ronin, right? And to become and receive the Ronin blessing. And with that in hand, once you have the Ronin blessing, you are guaranteed the mint, right? There'll be no over allocation, nothing on that front. Essentially, it's going to be this ability to prove that you are worthy. And as we spill this out, Ronin's other core goal is to build an art and kind of story based experience. So you're going to see a lot of beautiful art. It's going to start with a beautiful visual of the dojo. You're going to see other characters and experiences and visuals and rooms that are going to set you into feudal Japan. We want you to feel like you are part of the samurai era. We want you to kind of believe that you have the ability to change the path of Edo Japan. And Edo was what Tokyo was previously called during the feudal era. And the idea now is that we have the ability as Ronin to drive the path of all of Japan. And that's where this product experience is going to come. And with this art, this is also a huge factor for us as we build into the Ordinals world, as we believe art is going to be a very meaningful element of the storytelling, but also the value of the product. You can already see that we have these beautiful arts in regard to the disciples here at the moment right now. When it comes to the disciples, right, you'll see, of course, as we've already pushed, there are already 9 disciples that are already inscribed. These are fairly early cursed inscriptions, which is cool because they have another layer of rarity within them, but they're also full file sizes, right? And they're fully inscribed already on Bitcoin chain. But also what's unique here as well is that what you're seeing right now is that you're seeing that there's 9 different versions of these disciples with 9 unique colors. And this is the other major insight of what we're trying to deliver in this experience is that we're building on-chain clans, on-chain groups of armies that are going to have different games, products, and experiences. So when you do mint this experience, right, you'll actually be assigned to one of these 9 clans, right? And with these 9 clans, you'll have group choices as well, and we'll talk through that a little bit later. In regard to most of the trials, you want to think about these as decisions and buttons, right? We're really building the product experience for daily active users, meaning that, being active once a day or maybe twice a day will more than fulfill the obligations and needs in this product experience, right? We won't need you to do any text grind. We're not worrying about any of those other layers, right? What we're really trying to do, what we're really trying to unlock here is more or less an experience that does feel more akin to an early game experience when you first got, your simple Game Boy device, your simple, your first floppy disk game if you're old enough like me as well. Those are the elements we want with a little bit of game theory and mystery added within. And as you do this, what you're also going to realize in this story based experience is that we're going to be emphasizing ordinals, education, and onboarding. One of the things we also understand is that the world of ordinals is incredibly new, not only for the market, but of course, incredibly new for this community as well. So, our goal is actually to be running a lot of ordinals education and onboarding, including stuff as simply preparing your wallet, preparing your ability to mint, understanding the differences between rarity, whether it be Rodimer rarity, vintage rarity, or understanding inscription rarity as well. The idea here is that it's not just about us giving you an asset on ordinals, but rather what we hope is that this is a pathway for you to also achieve what we would call as almost ordinals enlightenment. The belief here is that we believe ordinals is going to play a very large role in the growth of digital assets. And one of the best things that we can offer to you, in our opinion, is giving you that access point and more importantly, that bridge to be able to get that exposure, whether it be just through the Ronin project, but more importantly, through other amazing projects that are going to be continually launching in the ordinals ecosystem as well. So we're going to take that onboarding directly. We want to make sure, because right now, based off our numbers, we expect 20 to 25% of our users that this will be their first Ordinals mint. And because of that, we want to take pride that it's a good experience, because Ordinals is different. It has different timings, it has different features, it has different tools. You'll need to understand a little bit more about the mempool. You'll need to understand more about, as we mentioned, the rarity. You'll need to understand the different marketplaces, or specifically Magic Eden's marketplace. And of course, there's different wallet providers and other tooling behind it too. So we want to provide that alongside of it, so that you also all feel that you're armed with the energy and hopefully the knowledge to capture what we think is the Ordinal's opportunity to. And as we continue to build this art and story based experience, it's going to mirror a lot of what we've already seen in Bitcoin. You're going to see us emphasizing very important numbers. Right now, there's probably four important numbers that are important to keep in your mind. Those numbers are 9, 21, 42, and 78. Some of these have deep relevance, of course, to the ordinals. Some of these numbers are relevant to other storytelling features that we're going to be uncovering as well. But what you're also going to see is everything ties back. Everything is going to have this element of trying to give praise to what ordinals and BTC is, right? Why are there nine disciples? Well, a lot of reasons for that. That nine number is incredibly holy when you think about the world of ordinals and BTC. Nine, in terms of block nine, that is the first block where an actual transaction occurred on the Bitcoin ledger between two users to prove that Bitcoin functions as it essentially was architected to do so, right? Nine. Well, nine's also unique because that's the number of pages in the Bitcoin light paper, right? Nine total pages, including citations. So if you think about the actual true knowledge that was ever given to us from Satoshi, it's really built within 9 pages, right? That's his version of a religious text is 9 pages, hence nine disciples that represent that knowledge as well, right? You're going to see, of course, emphasis of 21, i.e., 21 million, the number of total unique Bitcoins that will ever be in circulation. And this is kind of an important thing. 78 will reference a separate block 78, that has other relevance as well in this history. And the idea is that we want the story and the history of ordinals to also be a part of our culture, right? It really wants to be a part where we're understanding and recognizing where this is going to be going, because we want you to be entrenched. Again, our goal with Ronin is not being that Ronin is the end all and be all of your ordinals journey. We hope it's that either an accelerant to a journey you've already started, or it becomes the first step to a journey that we think will be worthy of you to discover. And again, Ordinals has a lot of other interesting elements that we want to tackle too. And this is the other important thing as we shifted back to you guys to understand your position here. For many of you, a lot of you may not have exposure to Ordinals, mainly because Ordinals has been historically very expensive, right? If you look at most of the successful mints happening, a lot of them have been very high priced. So that's been another barrier to entry. One of the other barriers to entry has been it's all been very low supply. So it's been very insider oriented when you look at especially a lot of the small Genesis collections, usually being sub 300, sub 400 supply, very hard to get access to that as well too, right? And then essentially, right, what you're also recognizing here is this long-term challenge in this market of truly understanding that in order to be a part of this, you need to be early. And of course, being early on a chain requires a lot of knowledge, a lot of access, and a lot of communication. Not that easy to do. So this is where we're trying to essentially get to the next level, where we could essentially have all of these pieces kind of unlocked for you guys too, and essentially be a part of this journey alongside each and every one of us. So the ordinal storytelling is only going to get way stronger as you kind of see the product experience unfold. And that's going to be a very key part of how we're getting Ronin set up. So as we look as a quick recap, right, what you're seeing is that the dojo will be opening up in kind of this soft launch structure tomorrow. This will allow you guys to be able to go through the first task and be access to the Discord. And that first trial will be is that you're going to arrive at the dojo gates. You'll need to figure out a way to pass through the dojo gates, right? The second thing is recognizing more of these trials will continue to evolve, and they'll all be built within Discord, right? So it'll be this experience that you could be doing it all within your Discord with just a few simple clicks. And lastly, this will be this art and story based experience that gives praise to ordinals, but also lets you see the amazing art the team has been building. And I mean, just amazing. Not only are we seeing these great, amazing PFP art, but you're going to see world art, you're going to see these storylines, and you're going to see new games, new mechanics, and new features kind of surprise you. And of course, even blessings. But let's talk a little bit about how we're going to honor you guys as tribe and how there's an opportunity, of course, for you guys to have meaningful access here too. So, as we discuss, when we look at these challenges at ordinals, right, we've seen the high cost, we've seen the large education gap, we've seen the small supply problems as well. We wanted to make, real solutions for that. And that's going to be really what Ronin is optimizing for. So Ronin is optimizing for what we believe is going to be what we're aiming to be is the fairest mint structure we could find. A very fair mint structure where it's not extractive. More importantly, there is also going to be a version of yield built in, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as the storytelling kind of comes. But the idea is that incredibly fair, incredibly accessible, and really essentially limiting the barriers to entry is going to be how we first honor our tribe. And we think that's going to also be important as we see the standards of ordinals change and update over time. The second thing that you're going to see how we honor our tribe is that, your role, souls, and your pendants are all going to have huge influence on your ability to get allocation here as well, especially those of you with oath roles too. If you have oath, the likelihood or the interest of you being able to get a position on a Ronin mint is incredibly high as long as you've been active and valuable to the overall ecosystem as well. Next, you'll also see, of course, the market come back where relics will be the primary way to capture more Ronin spots as well, right? Because of your pendant and your advantages on how you've accumulated relics, you'll have the opportunity directly to be able to purchase these as well. And you'll see these come in different waves and different batches, and we'll give you some more insight starting over the weekend and early next week on what that frequency will be. But also you're going to see blessings, and some of these blessings will start with some of the sacred diamond users who'll be able to start blessing individuals as well, because the idea is that we want, again, multiple paths to be able to unlock, right? So of course the vast majority of the allocation is going, of course, to this community, and that's where we get to continue to honor you guys in a fairly meaningful way. And with that, right, it means that if this is a journey on, amazing, right? It's an opportunity and option for you on ordinals as well. And when it comes to ordinals, right, the other amazing thing about this journey is that you're going to have the opportunity to choose if you want to go to ordinals. If you choose not to go to ordinals, no problem at all. You have your opportunity to retain, because our goal is is very simple. It's to get you guys mints in your wallets, right? Wherever they may be. And that's what our focus is on with our two primary IPs of both Ronin and Oath being able to go out. So with Ronin being prioritized, if you feel you want to be part of this ordinals journey, this will be your opportunity to do so. And again, you'll have multiple ways. And fear not, if you do not have oath, this is where blessings come in. This is where you could compete in the trials as well. There'll be multitudes of ways. Oath just has an advantage as we want to honor our sacred oath. But also at the same time, there's plenty of allocation supply to go to non-oath members as well in our community, with a very large allocation towards that as well. We've actually looked through our data, and what we essentially evaluated over the last few weeks and the last few months essentially is that we believe that this entire community has a few thousand very loyal community members. And what we hope is that a majority of them will be interested in ordinals. And our goal is to try to get those users an allocation to this mint and this opportunity and this product as well. And that's how we've really designed all of our metrics, all of our numbers, all of our sizes, because they're all based on you guys as well. The other way that we're also going to honor our tribe, which is also really important, is by honoring, of course, the builders that came a part of this as well. And this is also another important thing, is that we really want to honor the artists that have helped construct this, the storytellers, and of course the technical team members as well. And this is also where you're going to see us as a collective group and a collective builders also being long-term aligned with the project as well in order to scale it and grow it with each and every one of you. So as we step back, what you'll see is that as tribe users, as tribe community members, and as tribe activity members, your activity will always be valued into the weights of all the opportunities coming ahead. And that's, of course, including not only our own mints, but of course, right, partnership mints and other allocations that we'll be providing back into the village market starting this upcoming month. And we'll start sharing more details about that as well, too. As the path kind of progresses, right, we as an entity are shifting to be a product team first. This is where most of our time is now going, where we're shifting a internal product launch. And as an internal product launch, it means that we're going to be organizing our time accordingly for that. We want to make sure that everything we're doing is leading to an acceleration towards a min, acceleration towards an opportunity for you guys to have not only assets, but hopefully liquidity of those assets in whatever ways that you may choose should be accessible to each and every one of you. So with that, that's kind of why we've restructured a lot of things and how you're going to see both of these servers change. Tribe is going to have its own server experience. Ronin is going to have its own gamified server experience as well. And in doing so, they become complementary rather than having too much overlap between them. They should each serve their own purpose. And especially within the tribe, you're going to see a lot more knowledge unlock, as you'll see tomorrow, where we unlocking the research lab, which is going to start showing you about a dozen project updates. And we're going to keep that going on a weekly basis as well. So, 5 new projects continually being unlocked or 5 new updates. And the idea is that you'll have your knowledge base as well. You'll have a few other areas that we're going to give insights on, including over the counter trades. And we'll also give more insights as well on airdrop opportunities. So we hope that Tribe will also serve as an education knowledge center for each and every one of you, while we keep most of the core activity, of course, going towards Ronin and optimizing for what we hope could be an exciting Ordinals community as well. But because we have so many loyal users already here, our goal is to allocate to them. Our goal is to prioritize them. And that's where our focus is going to be, especially over the next like 2 to 3 weeks. That product experience will be optimizing for anyone who truly wants to be a part of what Ronin is going to be and the standards that Ronin is going to introduce. The big key, the big important insight to here is Ronin's server experience will be very different. Ronin's server experience will have its own rules, its own sets. We're going to experiment with totally new mechanics and totally new features. A little bit of the alpha that we've mentioned historically before here as well is recognizing like the big focus is also features that are going to be very unique to this experience. So one of those features we've hinted before, and something that as early users you should have a little bit more of an advantage, is understanding a brotherhood pact is going to be introduced into this experience, which means that you have to build loyalty with one other user in the community that you trust, right? And a user in this community that's been here in this community for a while and has true history is also going to be important. It's not just simply adding an alt, it's truly getting a user who's been part of this journey that you've met, you've connected with, and you want to extend this journey as well. So you're going to see this ability to have these brotherhood packs that are going to also have impact on the world of how Ronin will play out. There'll also be a few other unique features that will also be around, as we mentioned, the clan-based games. So as you're going to see, as this product experience unfolds, the trials will change. Not only 1v1, we'll introduce 2v2, and we'll also introduce 100 versus 100 in different ways. And again, this isn't viewing it as an MMORPG, it's nothing like that, but it's rather about social gamified mechanics that are inspired from games like that and re-envisioning them within a Discord and on-chain provenance structure as well. And I think this is where you guys might see some fun, but I think that's what we're hoping for, is bringing back the magic of what I think Tribe has always been great at. And what has Tribe always been good at? It's been delivering these amazing Discord experiences. And that's what we're really aiming to emphasize as we go back to our roots, right? Our product experiences, the launch experiences, all of that is going to be coming through to be able to be unlocked for each and every one of you as well. So as both of these servers get restructured and we add those knowledges here, you'll see more features, you'll see more unlocks, you'll see more accessibility, you'll see chat come back online. You're going to see all that stuff coming through. But again, as a hard pivot comes through, we wanted to make sure that we could stay structured, make sure both servers are set up, and be able to unlock them accordingly, which you'll see over the next 7 to 10 days as well. So as we continue through understanding how Ronin is now going to play out, there's a few other insights that are also going to be important too. In the Ronin server, what you're actually going to see is that there's also going to be clues and communication being delivered in haikus. So you're going to see us utilizing the traditional poetry format of a haiku, which is a unique syllable-like structure in sharing information. You're actually going to see haikus being written and dropped across the board. You're going to see multiple characters also come to life. You'll see two disciples be available in the early tranche of this experience. You're going to see a couple other role playing characters that are going to also open up and share with you their knowledge, their insights, their art. And through that, you're going to see clues kind of being unlocked. And there's always going to be clues. That's probably one of the important things to understand through this product experience. If you've all been here since the early days, right, especially way back in the days, one of our favorite things, of course, was Secret Chamber. And Secret Chamber was more than just, hey, let's go drop a bunch of codes in there in order to get access. It was actually a way to be able to share codes and share interesting communication. So this was one of the first codes that ever came through the Secret Chamber, where it responds to users, where we actually had this visual of a GIF that I just dropped in the chat. And it was showing you this messaging. And this was from the King's Oath world and the Lost Realms world. But you're going to see that more of these types of product experiences are going to unlock in a very similar way. And what a lot of people don't recognize, or what a lot of people don't take advantage of here, is recognizing that there was already codes out there as well. If you were looking in this chat, there was actually only one place that you could actually chat at the moment right now. It wasn't with anyone else, but it was within the secret chamber. And there were actually two different codes unlocked in the secret chamber if they were to be found at this time. At the moment, only one person found the code out of everyone in our server thus far, and was able to get it and was able to receive a Ronin blessing from that. But what I'm trying to share here is that you're going to see different locations and different places where you'll see unexpected ways to progress, right? It will be unique. And there was also one other location you could historically chat also in the Ronin server if you were already in it, right? And in that Ronin server as well, if you're find that, you'll also be, if you already historically found that, you're also going to receive some additional blessings as well. And I share this with you because there's going to be more of these plays. There's going to be more of these opportunities. And again, it's not something where you have to spend hundreds of hours of your time. We're not doing hard long-term ciphers or anything like that. It's rather piquing your curiosity, right? Just poking a little bit here and there, you might find interesting ways that are unknown, because essentially how the dojo will play out is that you have some framework of the rules, but it doesn't mean that these are the only rules or this are the only context you should have. There will be, essentially your version of Easter eggs or undiscovered moments that will lead to breaking, interesting breakthroughs, right? Or interesting moments where you get kicked out, right? There's a lot of different ways, because also the way the dojo is going to work, it's going to work with integrity. It will be an entire role playing game experience as well, right? Where we focus all of our language around samurais, right? We're focusing all of the elements, right, on this feudal Japan and building that world. So you're going to see character names, right? Each of the disciples will have their own names, right? My name in that world is Kyoshi. You're going to get introduced to Akari soon. You're going to get introduced to another character named Tetsuo. You're going to get introduced to a few other characters as well. And each of these characters are going to kind of give you their own path, their own way to unlock where this vision is going to go. And potentially through that, there'll be secrets. There'll be unique clues, unique places to be able to unlock and maybe find a way and a path forward. And here's the key: when you find one of those paths, you then have a choice. Do you keep it for yourself, or do you share it with others that you want? Right? For example, you might be able to find a unique path through in one of these steps, and only, 9 people will usually be able to get through in each of these paths. So the question you'll want to ask yourself is, do I share this with others, or do I leave it exclusively to me? Right? It's the idea of, do I believe the rarity of being the only one to discover it is going to be more powerful, or should I accelerate the path to people who I value and I want them to get access to it as well? And these are the ideas of where we're going to also open up these brotherhood and sisterhood bonds, right, between characters across the board, so that you could be a part of that product experience as well. The last thing that we're really also trying to get right with Ronin, and we're working on this as well, is that we do want to be much more accessible to international communities too. So we're going to slowly but surely start adding full language support for a couple of languages, right? And we'll see how far we can go through this, because there is a lot of content and a lot of specialization and a lot of colloquial terms where auto translations don't work that well. But if we could do this right, what you're going to see is we're going to spend time on, growing out, communities like the Chinese community, the Japanese community, the Spanish community, the Russian community, etc., the French community, and hopefully keep full translations going of all the different events and all the different items that are happening. So we're working on that at the moment right now to make sure that we have a good structure for that type of communication to consistently be happening. And within the Ronin server, you're not going to see tons and tons of live events. When live events happen, they're more the ability to give you guidance and rule sets of what's happening next. They may be clues or storytelling that unfold. It's not going to be anything about alpha, right? The Ronin server will not talk about any other Web3 projects. Ronin server won't talk about any of that stuff, because it will be truly that role playing experience. The only stuff we'll essentially talk about is the world building and Ordinal's technology. That's it. We focus on those, and then we build from there to kind of build what we hope is a very native brand. That's what we want, right? Native doesn't mean it's going to be truly spectacular, but native means that it's truly true to that community and that organization, which I think is also really important. This is kind of the insight that we're holding, is that we believe Ordinals has a huge opportunity to improve, right, the product experiences as they are. And I think it's going to lead to a lot of interesting teams experimenting and building for themselves in different ways. And that's what we really want to focus on, is how do we unlock those elements too. The last thing to kind of bring up here as well is, for those of you who are diamond holders, multiplier, and another version of yield return on not only Ronin, but also on Oath as well. This will be uncovered in the next Diamond Roundtable meeting, so you could essentially see directly where your upside, where your access, and what you'll also have controls of influence to. Especially if you've been an active Diamond holder, a handful of you will initially get the first 9 blessings. So there'll also be 9 diamond holders initially who will start with the ability to bless, and then it'll expand quickly. And this will also be the other fun of the social and product experience, is that it's more about your worthiness based off the relationships you may have built with diamond users, or the historical relationship you built within this server that will be echoed in the next server. So maybe some of the insights of, traits that are going to be important, right? Of course, ownership of souls are going to be important, right? Owning soul 1 and soul 2 is a requirement for a lot of the Ronin like that are coming through. So we'll be prioritizing those individuals. But it's not just owning those two, it's also making sure that you have those active seasonal pendants. So if you were able to have one of the top two seasonal pendants in the past few seasons, you're probably in a very good shape to get access to Road, right? Because it showcases not only your access, your reputation, but also your involvement to the community. And those are the individuals we want to continue to give upside to as this experience continues to kind of push through. So you'll see that you'll have the ability to get blessed from disciples, you get the ability to get blessed from honorable diamond users, and you'll also have the ability to go through the trials yourself. And that's probably my best feedback here is almost think about this as your early role playing game experience where you're identifying and building your player identity, your samurai's identity. Who do you want to become? Who do you want your samurai to represent? Because here's some other really cool factors that are going to be a part of this. One, these disciples are the rarest applications, of course, in the entire collection. But here's the cool thing, a couple of these disciples will be able to be accessible from a generative perspective at Mint. So anyone who mints will have a chance of getting a disciple. The other cool thing is that you'll see other layers of rarity as well. So some of the other layers of rarity is animation, right? An animated PFP will only be given to very few individuals. It's the what we call like a lieutenant like level role. So a few of you have already, many of you have already seen this, right? But this would be like one of the lieutenants. They have a very unique set of armor. This would be one of the white lieutenants that you would be seeing. It'll have animation fully on chain. These are the pieces that are going to unlock for our community, and that's going to be the other cool thing is that each of these characters are going to have their own roles, opportunities, their own systems that will allow you to do that. And alongside that, then there's another layer of rarity, which will be fire eyes, right? Fire eyes are going to be those that are animal masks, right? And these are rare animal masks that are going to be unique. You have quite a few beautiful ones already out there. And these animated masks will have different layers of rarity, different colors, and different looks. There's currently 99 unique masks in the entire collection, which is also interesting. And you're going to see our definitions of rarity. We're utilizing rarity across vintage rarity sats. We're utilizing rarity in the form of different technology of whether or not it's recursive or not recursive, whether or not it's parent-child inscriptions as well with cursed inscriptions and non-cursed inscriptions. You're also going to see other forms of rarity of whether or not how large is the file size of the asset, right? Meaning how much block space is it taking? You'll see visual rarity in the form of armor and animations and fire eyes as well. And the idea is to give ourselves a framework for rarity that we could both double down on and rally around as well. And I think that's also going to be a fun factor for this because the rarity conversation is still kind of missing, right? The rarity conversation is still fairly unknown when it comes to a lot of the stuff on ordinals right now. Is it managing on the Rodimer rarity side of rare and uncommon sats, right? Or is it these vintage sats or utilizing historical sats like pizza sats for the ninja alerts, right? Or utilizing block 9 sats that we've seen OMB use, or utilizing block 78 sats that we saw Fimoji's 2.0 use. These are all different elements that comprise rarity in an essential, very new structure, and we want to play with all of them. We want to bring them all in different ways. And that's the other really powerful thing about Ronin is that the postment experience will move into the clan game. It'll move into guild games. And these guild games will have real yield, real prizes, real choices. And it'll all be determined by each of these individual clan structures, the 9 different clans. And you'll have an experience that you might say is you'll see different experiences that could be like a lighter version of Risk, where you could see different land masses and locations that you will need to defend. You're going to see different games where you'll have duels, and duels will be reimagined, right, in the form of kind of maybe either stat based or strategic based or game theory based tools. And this is how we want this experience to build because it should be moments of rallying, moments of excitement as clans and individuals compete versus one another for large prizes, large bounties, large upsides as well. And this is where we also believe in our fair mint structure is going to have some really fun layers to peel. I think the big thing to understand as we kind of take a larger look at overall of everything we're building, our goal is truly to honor each and every one of you who've been a part of this experience. The goal here at Tribe is simple from here on out is to give you more assets in your pockets in a non-extractive manner. I think when you see the structures of both Ronin and Oath, if you've been a loyal member, you'll be more than thrilled on the structures that we're offering. More importantly, what you're also going to see is that there's going to be a large emphasis in protecting those who are truly loyal to the long term community as well. And you'll see unique incentives on both sides. There'll be a different incentive structure for ordinal loyalty, and there'll be a different incentive structure for ETH loyalty as well. And you're going to see both of these play out with the mechanics each of these systems offer. Because it's important to understand you can't replicate the same systems. There's no effective smart contracts, right, on the ordinals front. So you have to play a very different game. You have to play a very different product experience. So what you're going to see is you're going to see the best of our abilities to do so to honor you guys. Our goal here as we look back is that we were able to get a lot of upside, a lot of access to a lot of other projects. We were able to create an education, hub that was created around content, and that content velocity was really, really amazing the last year. You're talking about, over 300, 400 live shows. You're seeing hundreds of hours. You're seeing, millions of minutes listened from this community. You're seeing, thousands of ETH upside, thousands of whitelist upside. Those have all been incredibly huge opportunities in that first era that, traditionally was very bearish in 2023 when we look at the overall market conditions. But there is a shift, right? And shift in, we're not there in full bull. I know everyone sees some excitement, of course, but what we do have conviction is there are bullish sentiments and bullish waves ahead. That timing is still unknown, but there's a lot of confidence and tipping points in 2024. And I think a lot of people have very deep confidence in ordinals being one of those tipping factors as well. And that's what we hope Ronin will play a role in because we want this to be not only an amazing collection for you guys, but an amazing collection for ordinal users to discover as well. And that's what we're also trying to offer a product experience that ordinals hasn't seen before. If we can do that, you're going to see amazing art creations as well. That's the other fun stuff. We're going to show you behind the scenes on how each piece is created, how each of the worlds are created, how each of the 9 clans are formed. And those of you who own, those disciples, you'll also have the ability to choose your clan's missions. You'll have the ability to choose your clan's song, right? Your own anthem as well. It's going to be this opportunity where you'll see all these different touch points that will kind of come as a surprise. A healthy surprise that just allows you to hopefully fall one more step in love with the world that's being built. So this is kind of Ronin in a nutshell and how the dojo is being prepared. So as mentioned, right, the way this product experience unlocks for each and every one of you is that starting tomorrow we'll unlock the Discord and you'll all start as essentially once you verify through the server in a role of Saito, which is like the first role of student samurai. And through that, you will have to go through different trials and choices to level up to get through multiple trials. So as the story begins, we are at here at the Ronin Dojo, and you're going to arrive at the Ronin Gate, and you're going to be met with this beautiful, massive gate. And you'll now have to figure out a way to showcase your honor, your skills, your ability, your insights, your connections to get through the gate, right? That's will be your first trial. And then these trials will continue. Some of these trials won't be difficult. Some of these trials will mainly be choices, but some will be very hard. Some will require you to have coordination. Some will require you to have a little bit of time available. But the good thing is, none of this is aiming to be grind. We don't want this to be deep grind. We don't want this to be locked in a server. We want this to be a passive but deeply enjoyable story driven experience with all these pieces coming through. Also, in our recap, as we look back, what you'll see is that this will be this game of trials all built within Discord to start. This will be this art and story based experience with beautiful art and beautiful production. You're going to see a bunch of ordinals education. And that's the other thing. If you've never set up a wallet, great. Ronin is for you. We're going to help you understand Xverse, right? Well, maybe even the Magic Eden wallet is now out as well. We're going to help you understand how the mempool works. We'll help you understand how gas works. We're going to help you understand, the use of different sats for different elements. We'll help you understand all these pieces so that not only when you come through Ronin will you have a Ronin piece of art, but you should have the ability to start collecting on ordinals. That's what our hope is, right? We believe that for a lot of you who've already started your ordinals journey, we hope that Ronin is a part of that and is something that is going to add value. But we're also building this where if Ronin is your first start of your journey, we hope it unlocks many more pieces in the ordinals ecosystem for you. This has always been something we've historically been emphasizing to you guys is getting exposure on different chains, getting exposures on different opportunities. If you can do that, you're going to see amazing, amazing upside in 2024. And that's like the biggest insight I can give you as we kind of step back from everything, right? And I share this as sincerely as I can. When you look at the math and you look at the numbers, the more of the 10x, 100x gains are not going to be on ETH mainnet, right? They're going to come from other places, right? And that's where you want to figure out where your exposure is. For some, many believe it's going to be ordinals, right? As one of those core areas of exposure. And the belief in that is because of the potential liquidity unlock being the largest blockchain out there in regard to trade in market cap, right? The belief is more of that liquidity will continue to position into ordinals. That's a thesis many hold. Whether it's ordinals, whether it's AVAX, whether it's Sol, whether it's a new L2, whether it's a new protocol, whether if you're building on Frame or Arbitrum or IMX, all that matters is you should be aiming to get exposure in two, three, or four of these different areas, right? Whether it be airdrops, right? Don't just be stuck on ETH mainnet. ETH mainnet's liquidity, and this is like, we'll talk a little bit more research event tomorrow. ETH mainnet liquidity is a little bit trapped and locked with a lot of protocols and a lot of these TGE sales, but you're not seeing new users and new wallets unlocked as much as you would like. While when you look to the other chains, you're seeing way more growth. And that's kind of where it's interesting. So try to follow the growth metrics for your experience because, again, if you're here, you're positioned really, really well for a lot of opportunities beyond what Tribe is just. Sincerely, we want to give you guys access. And that's where the research room is going to play that role, is that we'll be giving you guys both that automated feedback in an asynchronous way, so you could always check it out via text. But the other thing that we'll also add, of course, will be weekly recaps on all those projects so that you can always stay tuned. But as Tribe kind of morphs, right, we move more away from this content engine to a product launch engine. And that's what we're essentially setting up the entity to do so moving forward. So if that's a journey you want to participate on, be ready. We'll unlock, the dojo tomorrow. You'll see some of the few events. They'll be time based, they'll be random, they'll be kind of out of nowhere, but they'll all be native to you if you've already been part of this product experience. And hopefully it'll feel a little surprising as you get through a few of these steps. So again, don't overthink it. Play through the product experience, learn, see different ways. There's going to be FAQs and a lot of clear documentation as well when you come into the server. But the great thing is that if you've had Oath, if you have great pendants, if you have relics, those will have very key value rolling into not only Ronin, but also, of course, King's Oath as well to follow. Right now, everything is focused on a Ronin launch. We believe that is the best priority right now in this entity. So with that, we're so excited to be able to bring you guys along for that journey, which will be completely different. A couple of other small things to see as well is that most of the Ronin events will start happening in the Ronin server. So although they'll be posted here, we'll also be reposting those events in the Ronin server and redirecting you there for a lot of the live events that, of course, are going to be dealing with the dojo. Additionally, behind that as well, tomorrow you're going to see a couple of events that are, later this week and next week, you're going to see a couple of events that are relevant. One of the first events here is understanding that there's going to be a breakdown of the research lab. So you'll be able to access that and start seeing some of the historical recaps of about a dozen different projects right now. So it should be your ability to get AMA insight. That's actually what what that's actually the area we're emphasizing right now when it comes to, real data and real knowledge, is that the best insights you can get are from live AMAs publicly available. How do we curate all those live AMAs location with easy to read and easy to access links? So that will be one of the first areas we'll be dropping. And then beyond that, you're going to see insights, more project updates, all of that coming in so that Tribe can also be what we hope is like a second place you check, right? I think a lot of people are primarily utilizing own Discord and seeing the collections that they've already owned and seeing what their announcements are, right? And then also another way a lot of people are checking for information is, of course, crypto Twitter or utilizing the marketplaces. We want to be kind of a secondary function for that, where it also leads to like, oh, I want to know more about this project, but I also want to discover a new project. That's really what the research lab is going to be for, because there is a lot of interesting stuff still happening. It'll be initially in Tribe, will be focused on ETH projects, and then we'll start adding more ordinal based projects, AVAX based projects, and Sol based projects. And this will be the cool thing about the research lab, is that each of you guys will have the ability to vote on what projects you want to see next. So you'll continue to prioritize that. So if you're interested in getting that type of research knowledge, feel free to join that next event tomorrow, and we'll share that and unlock that product experience for each and every one of you, which I think will be really cool and will get you a lot of other updates. The other thing to kind of keep an eye on is that there's two events called Ronin Blessings and Ronin Quest of the Disciples. So Ronin Blessings are going to be events where we're going to be giving not only individual blessings, but unlocking the village market for you to be able to purchase Ronin Blessings as well. And that, of course, is the guaranteed whitelist spot for Ronin. The other thing that you'll also see is the Ronin Quest for Disciples. Those will be the live events where you'll actually be hearing from disciples on the quests at hand. And they'll be giving you more insight, because you do have to make very hard choices and hard forks in your journey. So as you make those decisions, we'll aim to give you as many insights to help you get to those best outcomes as well. So those will be events, again, both happening in the Ronin server. So make sure that, if you want to participate in those, be a part of that as well. So aside from that, really the next focus right now is getting everything set up for Ronin to be its own kind of gamified experience. And this tribe Discord will kind of update to its research lab center and being able to give you guys product insight. And our goal still is that as each individual product does launch, it'll have its own Discord experience for you guys too. That's what we're going to continue to deliver on: great art, great story, great journey, and fair mints. That's all we want to do. That's all we want to structure for. And we're going to continue to deliver that kind of moving forward. So definitely stay tuned for each of those elements as we kind of keep going here too. Lastly, I'll kind of close out with just kind of an understanding of how also roles are going to be working within, season 4 and other different events here too. So we'll still be giving out season 4 relics, right, across the board. But again, there's going to be less of these relics to be able to capture in the meantime. The only ones that you'll really be getting true relics for are for tribe based events. For all of the live events that happen in Ronin, you may get a role for it, but it's not a relic. That will have its own product experience, but that role should have its own value as well. And that's important to understand, because then you could kind of choose your time availability between both product servers too. Lastly, one of the other things that I'm actually really excited about too is that as we unlock these kind of roles for each and every one of you, you'll have the ability to also leverage these roles to be able to get greater blessings and also make sacrifices. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. Not only will you have brotherhood packs, you're going to have sacrificial packs, and there's going to be a few of these systems and features that kind of unlock to give you guys more and more opportunities to see where this goes, right? That's really what we want. We want this to kind of always be a surprise. And in a weird way, we actually don't know all the options you guys are going to make yourself. And that's where I think this product experience is going to have just a lot of fun, a lot of unknowns, and a lot of dynamic storytelling. We actually think that's the most powerful thing about building this product experience in Discord. It allows us to have a dynamic and social community that could kind of influence where the journey goes, what works and what doesn't, what is fitting, what isn't fitting. And that's what we want to continue to rotate across the board for all of these journeys too. So you'll see roles will continue to be dispersed here. For those of you who have been in this chat, we just gave out a role called Season 4, The Dojo Awakens. So should be added to you in the next, 5-ish minutes here. Some of you may have already gotten. It's currently adding it too. Again, you'll see product experiences like this kind of unfold. And of course, you'll have utility for these relics in different ways. So definitely stay tuned as the product experience unfolds. But as you take the big idea away from this, it's hey, as previously before the 2023 era of Tribe was, hey, let's get access to as many projects as possible as our primary goal, right? While we incubate the internal IP, right? And now in 2024, those are shifting, right? We're now putting all of our emphasis to launch internal IP and support that internal IP while allocations become a secondary part of it, right? But we'll still be continuing that and continuing to offer that, of course, within our community. But those are shifts because we believe the largest upside that we can offer, of course, is you guys having your own standalone launches coming through as well. So we appreciate your patience. We appreciate your ability to be a part of this journey. Our goal is to continue to offer you that overwhelming value of what we're building for and positioning this community first, positioning this artist first, positioning the other builders first. That's what we're trying to unlock and try to build. Again, the other cool thing as well is that you're going to see other ways each week or every other week. You'll just see a new feature coming. And I want you guys to react and tell us what's working and what's not, especially for those of you who are diamond holders. The ability to give feedback live is just going to be fun. And you're going to see dynamic events, total different locations, total different places, total different features that you haven't seen before. And I think that's where we're going to find our aha moment, especially as Ronin comes. But here's the best thing about Ronin. Ronin, we believe, is still the best art that you could put on ordinals. We're incredibly excited about this art. It's great art, and pixel art is literally perfect for BTC and ordinals as well, especially when it comes to inscriptions. So we're so excited to make this so art focused in our journey, and that's what you're going to see this kind of build up around. But it doesn't stop there, and we hope this storytelling journey kind of unfolds in a very fun. So with that all, we're gonna let you all go. You're gonna see more events, more live events unlocking. Chat will unlock here shortly. We're getting everything set up with all the right structures. And with that, you'll hopefully be able to be part of this really exciting journey with the dojo. So stay tuned to enter the dojo. The last small thing I'll note here as well is that we'll also be doing events on different time zones. So right now you'll see this kind of time slot that we consistently do be kind of the morning time slot. We'll also do another time slot roughly 12 hours from now or 11 hours from now as well. We want to be able to get both the Eastern and Western audiences to have full access to this entire world. So you'll be able to see us also cover both. So be ready for that too. But with that all, we're going to let you all go. Great to see almost 400 of you guys here today. Really appreciate all of your value. I'm really excited to unlock this journey. Super, super fun times ahead. So, guys, enjoy the rest of your day and we'll chat soon. Bye bye now.